Hello, all you scaredy cats and kittens, and welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats podcast, where we talk about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We're your hostess with the mostest. I'm Stacy.
I'm Kara.
So, Kara, weekends ago we went for your bachelorette party, and where did we go for that?
Las Vegas.
Yep, we went to Las Vegas, Nevada. And what did we do while we were there? What were some things that we did while we were there?
We ate food, hung out in the pool.
Lots of food, and we did hang out in the pool 2 days, which was nice. But
I think it was a nice start to our day because we started our day in the pool.
Yep, definitely made it more chill. So, what were some of the activities that we did while we were there?
Well, we went to Omega Mart. That was pretty cool.
You want to tell people what Omega Mart is in case people don't know what
It's
it is?
It's kind of like Otherworld that we have out by us. It's like an art installation thing. When you first walk into it, it looks like a mart.
Yeah, it's like a real grocery store almost. Except
yeah, it looks like a grocery
weird.
store.
Yeah.
Most of the products you can buy though, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but the products are like they're funny, and they have
they're like gag kind of
things. Like you could buy like fake drinks and pop, and it was just really interesting. But once you get through the store, there's like these secret passageways that you could take that take you to the actual exhibit. Yeah, it's like behind the actual grocery store, which was really neat and interesting. And there's like a whole puzzle that you can figure out. Like there's a missing girl, or there's a couple of missing girls, and you can figure out.
Well, you can find out the story too, because there's like a timeline story.
Yeah,
that explains why the products are the way that they are.
Yeah, it's like
because they're like very unusual products.
There's like a whole backstory that you can find out once you enter past the store part, and it just tells you like everything that happened, and it kind of explains like how it came to be, and you can actually, it's almost like a escape room type thing. You can go through and kind of figure out what happened to the girls and all that. So that was pretty fun. That was cool.
Yeah, there were.
And then, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say there were like interactive parts to like all the exhibits.
Yes. Yeah. Like the whole thing was interactive. There was nothing that you weren't, there was no time when you weren't interacting with some type of element in the different sections of the place. Like there were videos to watch, or there were clues to look for, and stuff like that, or there was like games you could play. It was really interesting.
Yeah, none of it was like linear, so like you could just kind of explore like how you
stop and start wherever. Yeah,
there's no like exact like you're supposed to go here and then you go here. It's kind of like everyone's just kind of exploring and going off into our own rooms and stuff. Like someone could like have a completely different route that they go through than another person.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun.
Yep, it's very interesting how everybody's brain works differently and how they go to different areas versus what other people go to. It was really interesting. But that was really cool. We had a fun time there. And then what did we do? Our next adventure that we went on was one that kind of ties into our podcast. So you want to let them know where we went, Kara?
We went to the Zac Bagins Haunted Museum.
Yes, we did. And that place was interesting. Very interesting, actually. I thought it would be more cheesy than what it was, honestly.
Yeah, it had a lot of cool things that I didn't think that they would have.
Yeah.
Or, like, I was surprised about.
Yeah, I mean, it was really neat. Like, he really did his homework on the... you can say what you want to say about him being hokey sometimes, and he is hokey.
Yeah, like, the show's kind of cheesy sometimes.
But, I mean, he really did his homework, and he made, like, every room in this place are themed to an object or a certain type of genre of horror. So, it's really neat. The way, I mean, he did a phenomenal job in it, and it's well worth your money to go see it. I want to see it again. I thought it was cool.
Also, if you're like a true crime fan, they
yeah,
had a lot of stuff.
Too.
I was not expecting him to have so much like
yeah.
true crime related stuff, like serial killer stuff.
Yeah, they had a lot of like Helter Skelter and Ed Gein. They had some of his stuff there. It was really neat. Very interesting.
Which just kind of makes sense because like a lot of that stuff's probably like really emotionally charged, but I was just surprised.
Right. And a lot of it is based off, several horror movies are based off that stuff too. So I can see why he would have it there, you know, what his reasoning for having it there was. But it was set up in a very entertaining and interesting way where you learned, you actually learned stuff, which was, you know, hey, you know, it was almost like a real museum. So that was kind of cool. And we were there. You're not allowed to take any pictures, which really sucked, but I get it though.
Yeah, you just basically turn off your phones because they said they called it an active.
Yeah, there's a
site.
lot of
what is this? Active investigation site. They're like actively monitoring for like
and
paranormal
if we
activity and stuff.
Letting flashes off, I guess it'll affect them seeing orbs and stuff.
Mess up with their equipment.
So, but that was neat.
I'd love to go back for they have a flashlight tour. They do like a lights off.
Yes, we were thinking about doing that, but we didn't have time.
I mean, and it's expensive. It was like $200 a person.
Yeah, it was pricey, but I mean, I thought it, you know, it was worth it just to go through it and see it.
It was a long experience too. It wasn't like I feel like for the money,
like maybe 45 minutes or so. It was 2.5 hours, people. 2.5 hours we were in this place. And if you get easily jump scared, there's like one area that
they did not warn you about.
Oh my god. Yeah, they don't warn you about it at all, and you have no idea what you're getting into. And let's just say that if you're not big on jump scares or
like if you don't do well in haunted
haunted
houses,
you wouldn't like it. And the part that made it even more challenging, I guess I would say, was that there was steps involved.
Oh yeah,
I don't, you know,
something about being scared on a stairwell is
right
scary.
On steps. Yes, is scary enough. I mean, you know, here I am worrying about, oh god, am I going to break a limb or you know, because they have had issues where people have gotten shoved and pushed on the steps before. They've told us that, not from like people going through it, like from
ghosts.
Ghosts. They say the place is very haunted. I'll tell you what, all the energy in that place, I can see why it would be haunted. There's it's a lot. It's very emotionally draining when you go through there.
Especially in the beginning, the first few rooms were very intense.
The first few rooms
I felt like I was going to puke the entire time.
Yes, I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt like the room was leaning to one side the whole time we were in those first two rooms. Mm-hmm. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, when I crawled through that hole, I thought I was gonna fucking die.
Yeah, well, so
they have like 2 tiers.
Tour.
You can do like a special tier where you get access to a few extra rooms that you're not normally allowed access to.
Pervy too, if you're on the lower
and one of
tier,
them was just like a sensory nightmare. So you're like in this cramped, tiny tunnel, and you're crawling through this tunnel. It's pitch black in there, and they're just playing like these really disturbing sounds. So I was like, this is horrible. And you can't see anything in front of you either. There was someone in front of me, so I could kind of gauge where she was, but even then, it was horrible. I was like, I'm gonna die in this tunnel, especially if like you're claustrophobic.
Yes, definitely. Oof. There's a reason why I didn't go in that tunnel, because I do not do well in tiny places like that. But I was gonna say that also, if you have any type of sensory problems, like the music that they play in there is it's
so loud.
Yes, it's very loud, and it's very I don't know, it just fits with the theme, and it kind of puts you in the right mood. But it would be sensory overload if you are somebody that has issues with, you know, a lot of sensory, being overly stimulated by things. It's very dark too. I mean, I don't know if you, I'm sure you picked up on that, but it was like, there were some spots where I wasn't sure, like when we were upstairs, that, you know, it was really hard to figure out where people were in front of us and that, so. Mm-hmm. But no, that was really cool, and I mean, if you have the opportunity, definitely go check it out. It's not on the main strip. It's actually off the strip quite a ways, so we Ubered to it. But just keep that in mind if you're planning on going, that if you have a rental car, there's not a lot of parking there. So keep that in mind too. So that's why we ended up Ubering. We didn't have a rental car, but
I mean, honestly, the Uber prices were not bad.
It wasn't. If you go in during the day, and it does close at a certain time. I think the last one,
the last
7,
call was like 7 o'clock or something.
So I mean, that would get you out about 10 because it's like 2.5 hours long.
It is kind of in a sketchy area.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there at night. That's why we went during the day.
I'm glad that we were like leaving where it was kind of still. Yes, it was a little light out.
Yes, because we got out of there. Our tour was at 3, and we didn't get out of there until 6:30. Right? Mm-hmm. Is that right? 3 to 4.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3.
Yeah, it was like 6.
I don't think we got in until 4 though.
Yeah, like 7. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like they'll tell you, this is your time.
I would get there as early as you can for your time slot.
Yeah, don't roll in like we did towards the tail end of our time slot because you wait forever. They put you like in this holding area, and then you have another holding area, and there's a lot of waiting, and it's like weird. Like,
but when you do get into the building, you're like actually moving.
Yeah, once you're in there, you move. There was like only one time when we were in the building that we had to wait for another group because they were I guess they took a little longer or something was going on. So we had to wait until we could, like, they only let so many people in an area at a time, which makes sense because there's small rooms, and there's a lot of stuff to look at. So you can, get to see a lot of the stuff that he has. And he has so much stuff covering all kinds of genres and, things.
Yeah.
We don't want to tell you, that's not fair for us to ruin his thing, but let's just say that we've covered some of the stories and objects that are in there. So it was kind of cool to actually see the real legit object that we talked about on our podcast before.
Yeah. And one of the ones we almost talked about, but then you got nightmares about it, and then it was there.
And then
I think I got cursed by it. I think that's where my illness came from, Mom.
You think so? Maybe. I don't know. I just know that I don't like that thing, and there's a reason why I didn't go in.
Yeah, you always didn't. Now I'm cursed with this illness. Yep. I got the plague. See?
You do have the plague. You got the black plague. I just thought it was like really cool the way he had each room set up to go with whatever theme or event or particular person that he was covering. I thought it was really neat the way that he had every detail down, and it was really neat. It was like going to Disney World, basically. You know how detailed their rides are there? That's what this was like.
Yeah, it did have that kind of theming. Yeah. Like the rooms. Or it might be the waiting room for like...
Yes, or the hallway. Remember when we were going up the steps to get to the really scare, the part that we all got scared in? Haunted, what is it at Disney World?
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion, where it looks like the ceiling's going up.
Oh yeah, that room. That room
do you remember that? Yeah, it looked like that in there. It was so weird. And I don't know if it was just the way they had it set up or painted or the way
I think it looked cool. It reminded me of that place, though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But it was, some of the artifacts and stuff that he's collected that were in there were just, it was very cool. Very neat. Lots of stuff I was not expecting to see in there. He has stuff in every nook and cranny in that place. And there was some that I feel like we didn't I feel like we didn't see all of it. No.
We didn't get a look at it, a lot of it, because there was just so much.
And I feel like because we were on that time thing, like where we have to go to this room next and that room. I feel like
it'd be nice to the flashlight tour would be cool, because then you get to wander around basically.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as, the thing I didn't like, it was go 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 instead of being able to sit and experience. Yes. If you know what I mean.
Yes, I like to go to museums and just look myself. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things.
I understand why they do it, because so they can get as many people in and out of there as possible for money. It's so big too. You'd be in there all day if you just sat and looked.
Oh, you'd be lost. Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem too. I feel like if you just had your own time and you're wandering, that building is huge.
He's expanding it too, because I think someone said that they had been there a few years ago and they completely expanded parts of it.
Yeah.
And added new stuff.
So it was very cool. Very cool. I highly recommend it if you're ever out in Las Vegas and have the time to go see it. Ooh, we also got to see the Sphere while we were there. They had it all lit up and it was working really well, because I guess is it U2?
Yeah, you had a concert. but it was like after we left.
Bono,
It like opened
yeah,
after
it
we
was
left.
like
I was like,
it was
really?
like 2 days after we left. Yeah, Bono had a concert there, which I thought was crazy, but it was
It
really
looks so
cool
cool
to see
inside though.
yeah, doesn't it? It looks awesome, and they project on the inside too, which I thought was neat. I'm like, I told Dad we need to go back and go to a concert there, but so the Sphere was really neat. We got to see it lit up at night. It was very cool. The way they project different things onto it was really neat. Okay. So this is the craziest story ever. So while we were there swimming in the pool on the Saturday, this was last week, 2 weekends ago. Carrie, you want to tell them what happened?
Oh, the person that died?
Do you remember? Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
someone...
yeah. That
well, apparently
okay,
while we were in the pool, there was a person that died because they're building the like F1 thing for that race that's coming up.
Yes, for the F1 race is supposed to be happening in November, and basically right now Las Vegas is a big turd right now.
Yeah, it's kind of sucks
traffic is a
about
nightmare
that for our trip.
You can't. We were staying at the Bellagio, and they have that whole viewing area in front of the fountains that normally people can go down and look at. And if you've seen Ocean's 11, you know Brad Pitt and George Clooney all stand there and look at it at night. Well, that is all blocked off right now. They have that all sectioned off. You cannot go through there. Because they're building stands for people to be able to view the F1 race that's coming in November. Well, while we were there, we were in the hot tub because on the Saturday it was kind of cold. All of a sudden we hear like sirens, like a lot of sirens, like several, like police, ambulance, and all that. And the power went out while we were in the hot tub, which was really weird. And I don't know if it's related to what happened or not, but anyway, we were hanging out in the pool. By the time we got back, we had heard later on down in the casino that one of the workers that was working on the stands for the thing in front of the Bellagio there had his head decapitated while he was working on it. And the craziest thing is they don't know how it happened, or they're not certain. Like, it happened in such a way that it was not like, an accident. They said they were investigating like it was somebody did it on purpose. So they were looking into that, but there was like police and cops everywhere, and on top of the traffic being already horrendous from the roads being shut down all along the strip because of what's going on, it was a nightmare to get anywhere on that day.
Yep.
And everything was running so far behind. But that was the craziest thing that happened while we were there, was the guy getting killed while we were like in the swimming pool, like right outside of our hotel. I don't know, was there anything else?
We went to restaurants.
Yeah.
Like, we went to cool ones. We went to
that one restaurant was really cool.
What is that one called? The weird one?
The neon one? The really cool
yeah,
one?
it was something weird like
Anyway, there was this really cool restaurant. Apparently all the regulars go there. It's really neat. It's all lit up in neon on the inside and have these really cool like trees in there and that. And it's just it's a really neat place to go. There's like lots of people go there. Their prices are really good for Vegas, and their food portions are like out of this world.
Yeah, I was surprised. It was like probably like
I feel
the
like
best.
It was the best food.
Other than the Asian food we had.
It was
very good. Asian food was really good, but it was so good. I obsessed. I still think about that food.
I think everybody's stomach was upset.
My stomach was so upset that night.
But the food was amazing. Oh yeah, you probably killed yourself.
I had crab cake, so I was like, I don't know if it was the crab.
I got this chicken fried.
It was so good though.
Yeah, chicken fried steak. Oh my god. Yeah, it was so good. So I got it like as a breakfast.
They have like all day
meal,
breakfast, so it's great.
I mean, it was just phenomenal. Like how much food you got for the price. Yeah, it was crazy.
There's just like
but then we ate at this really cool Asian place that was in the Links, correct? The Link. Oh, the Aria. Sorry, in the Aria, which was really cool.
It was Aria.
It had they're called soup dumplings, and they were these little dumplings that had meat in them, but it had a couple little spoonfuls of soup in them too. So when you ate it, it was really good, very good. Yeah, they were very good. I've
just like eating soup.
Yeah, they had them in the
so
little bamboo steam tray things.
They came out like the little steam things,
and then we tried a bunch of other stuff. Everything was very, very good. What was the one thing that we got that was really good? Oh, the weird dough ball things, whatever those were. Yeah, those were really good, actually. I really like those. Yeah, steamed buns.
Those things were good, too.
They were really good.
Steamed buns or whatever.
So that's pretty much what's going on there. So, does everybody know that there's an Exorcist movie coming out on Friday? And apparently this movie is it's a direct sequel to the original movie.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and a couple of things came up on my feed, and I was just curious, so I went poking around. Anyway, so basically, they were saying that the new movie, The Exorcist, had a bunch of crazy stuff that happened while they were filming it, as did the original Exorcist, which I went and looked all this up, so I have some cool stories to tell everybody about what happened on the original Exorcist movie, people that were in it, and I mean, it was just all kinds of craziness going on. But, so, let's start there first. So, the original Exorcist, in case you don't know or have not seen it yet, came out in 1973. It is one of the most scariest movies of all times. I saw it once when I was, like...
Didn't you read the book, too?
10. I wasn't supposed to be watching it, but I was watching it anyway, and right in the... No, I never read the book. It is a book, also. But when I was me and my friend were sneaking watching it while my parents were upstairs... My brother decided that him and his friend were going to go outside and play baseball. While they were playing baseball, they broke the basement window that was right near where we were watching the movie, like right at the most, scariest scene in the whole movie, like where her head's spinning around and she's spitting out pea soup, okay? And
oh my god.
I freaked out so bad and thought we were in trouble because we were watching the movie and we weren't supposed to be, and God was punishing us because we were watching it type thing. So I was like freaking out, and my parents found out that I was watching it, and I got to so much trouble. They're like, "You're gonna be so scared," and of course, I had nightmares for like weeks after that movie. But then me and your dad were just watching it last night or 2 nights ago, and I'd never seen it from the very beginning. I'd only come in when she had already been possessed. So it was interesting. I finally got to see it from the very beginning, which now makes sense about the prequels that I have seen that explain the whole backstory of how, this demonic entity came to be and where it comes from and all that stuff. So anyway, back to my original thought process about the whole Exorcist. So, one thing about the Exorcist that might be scarier than the demonic possession is that one of the scenes features, and I did not know this, a real-life serial killer.
Oh.
Like, they legit had a real-life serial killer in the movie. They didn't know this at the time, mind you, because this happened in 73. And he was actually arrested or indicted in 1979. But one of the gentlemen in the movie was a serial killer. And it so happens that it's in this particular scene, and a funny thing, me and your dad just watched the scene the other night, and I had never seen that part. Like I said, I only saw it from the part where she was starting to act really possessed, and after they had taken her to the hospital. So, in the scene where the serial killer appears, is Reagan has gone to the hospital because they're trying to say that the reason why she's having, these strange convulsions and all that is because she's got like a tumor on her brain. So they're doing like brain scans and they're doing all these tests. Well, they decide to insert a catheter into her neck as a quicker way to get, to her heart and stuff like that. So one of the hospital technicians in that scene was played by a gentleman of the name Paul Batson. Now, he got convicted in 1979 of the murder of a film industry journalist by the name of Addison Verrill. Now, Batson, suspected of several other murders within the gay community of Manhattan, New York, in the 1970s. What happened was he actually met the director of the movie when he was touring hospitals and that to get information. He was trying to figure out how to show this brain scan and all that, and he was one of the radiologists or person that takes pictures and that, and he was in the room when the director walked in, and he talked to him, and he decided that he wanted Batson to be in the movie. He was not convicted until 1979 for the murder of Addison Verrill. Now, Manhattan police had been suspicious of Batson for some time following the deaths of several gay gentlemen. And this is, kind of one of the things that goes with the Exorcist thing, that it was such a charged film and that it, invited this evilness onto the set. They say that the set of the Exorcist mysteriously burned down one day and they had to rebuild it. And then a couple days later, it was covered in snow. Like, it was really bizarre things happen. Ellen Bernstein, by the way, who played Reagan's mom in the first movie and will actually also be in the new movie that's coming out on Friday, suffered a permanent back injury from filming. It was in the scene where Reagan throws her across the room and she ends up hitting her back on the wall. The scream that you hear her scream in the movie was not her acting. That was actually her in so much pain from breaking her spine. Yeah. Also, Reagan herself, Linda Blair, who played Reagan in the movie, when they were filming, they would use like ropes and cables and that, like they use, in plays and stuff to help hoist, actors up and make them swing around. Well, remember, this is 1973, so we don't have all the gear and all that we have now. Well, you know how she thrashes around in the bed and the bed would make her, violently go back and forth, back and forth. They said that the harness that they were using for that actually screwed up her back. And she ended up getting scoliosis from it and has had a lot of back issues ever since that happened. They say that the set was blessed several times during filming because they felt that it was so negatively charged and they were worried that they would be cursed. So they would have the set blessed. A total of 9 people who worked on the film died. Some people lost digits in freak accidents, with one person losing a toe and another losing their thumb. I mean, this is all the crazy stuff that happened during the filming of The Exorcist. Now, they said that the new movie that comes out, what is it called? I had it written down, but I can't find it. Well, the new Exorcist movie that comes out on Friday, they said that they didn't have like all that kind of level of stuff happen, but they did feel like there was, it was extra charged, the energy in the rooms and that when they would go to film and stuff, just because of the type of material that you're dealing with, people being demonically possessed and stuff. So yeah, so that's like, some of the crazy stuff that happened when they were filming The Exorcist. Now there is a documentary that they made about The Exorcist, and it's called The Fear of God, and it's a documentary about the making of The Exorcist, which I highly recommend if you haven't had the time, if you haven't seen it, to go check it out. I have not seen it yet, but it is now on my list of things to watch here in the month of October, since, we're all about
we're
scary
spooky
stuff
season right now.
Yep. Another good Exorcist movie is one that just came out to Netflix recently. It's called The Pope's Exorcist with Russell Crowe. That movie is really good too. I just watched that the other day. I like that one. That one's good. Yeah. But anyway, so that is what I have about The Exorcist and some of the curses and the stuff that happened while they were during and after filming. So
yeah, guys, did you guys know that Kung Fu Tea has a Spirit of Halloween collab? And you're gonna get a little skeleton finger when you get it. So I got my skeleton.
Where is this
Kung Fu
at?
Tea. It's the bubble tea place. They're doing a Spirit of Halloween collab. I know, when you come up, you can get one.
Okay, we're gonna have to.
It's pretty good.
It's
the flavor is like matcha flavor.
Okay,
and it's pretty.
I've had matcha.
It's like a slushy, and it has Oreo in it, so it's pretty good.
Ooh,
it's not too sweet. But it's like the Oreo kind of helps sweeten it up a little bit.
Got you. Because matcha can be
It can be a little earthy.
Yes, very earthy.
There's taro in it too, like a taro milk or something.
Oh, okay.
But I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I saw that, and it just came out yesterday, and I was like, oh, I have to, because there's one by my apartment.
You know what?
Spooky news.
You know those Jack Skellington cups that we saw that Disney was supposed to be releasing soon?
Yeah.
The Starbucks ones. I went and looked. They were supposed to come out on last Friday. They were sold out in 30 minutes. They released them at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were gone in a half hour.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm so torqued. Those cups were awesome looking. I want one so bad.
I want one too.
So we're going to have to be on the lookout for when they restock those. So people, if you see them, please let us know. Because we're on the lookout for the Jack Skellington cups.
You gotta check Target. Target's, people are, not a lot of people check the Targets with Starbucks in them. Remember, that's how we found the Halloween cups.
Right, but I feel like these Halloween cups are only pervy to Disney. Like, you have to buy it through the park's website. Oh. Does that make sense? It's only something available in the parks.
Oh, I thought
it's like even more special. No. It's even more rare than
that's crazy.
Rare than the normal rare ones. I know. People are nuts. They did have some really cool Halloween Starbucks cups that I almost bought, but they were not for iced. They were only for hot coffee. And it was like a 4-pack, so I figured, I can give some to Karen. I can keep some. But I'm waiting until they come out with the...
I want the slime cup.
The cool cups.
Did you see the cool slime one?
I've not seen that one. I saw some of the other ones. They look similar to the ones we already have. Like the eyeball one we have and the other one we got when we went on our one trip. But anyway. So, and there's, Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie's coming out October, is it the 20th, 14th? That's coming up soon.
The last weekend. It's like the 27th.
Oh, the 27th. Yeah. That's right. It's the 27th. Yeah.
The movie's just opened up. You can buy tickets now for the movie.
Oh, that's going to be sold out for weeks.
Here's the insane part, Mom. I looked, and there's not that many showings, in my theater.
What? Really?
Which you would, on opening night, there's only 2 showings. I'm like, that's crazy.
What?
It's really popular with the kids. I'm surprised. They're underestimating how many people.
I know. Because it's like a cult
We're
thing
renting
a
theater. It's like a cult following. A lot of people my age
want
to go see it because we played the games growing up.
Yes, and it's so crazy that it took this long for them to finally make it into a movie. Because remember...
But it's actually a good movie, too. It looks good.
Yeah, I saw it. It looks pretty cool. They were talking about, it just, for how long. They've been talking for so many years about turning into a movie, and they never did. Yeah. So go check that out, guys. October 27th.
We're working on renting a movie theaters.
Ooh, that'll be cool.
So we don't have to worry about children.
That'll be nice. Yeah, did you see the rating?
$200.
It's PG-13 now. The rating is. Well, did you see that?
I'm sure there's going to be children there regardless.
Oh, I know. I mean, I've seen kids at rated R,
8-year-olds obsessed
movies,
with it.
So, some of the, it was like a Batman or something maybe, and it was rated R, and there was all these kids there. I'm like, yeah. Oh, it was Deadpool. That's what it was. Some people had their kid. I'm like, what?
Deadpool? Yes, that's a weird one to bring kids to. I know,
but people did.
Well, Barbie movie was rated PG-13, and people still brought their kids.
There was little kids at that. I don't know if the content was appropriate for little kids, but you know what? To each his own.
I'm more excited for our Taylor Swift movie. I know.
When I told people we have tickets for that, they're like, what?
Really?
Like, yeah. They're like, that is so awesome. In fact, one of the teachers that I sub for wanted me to sub for her on the day that we're going. And I'm like, I wish I could go. But I'm like, me and my daughter are going to see Taylor Swift. She goes, no way. I'm going to see it the next day. I was cracking up. I'm like, oh my God.
That's God. Funny. I told you, Mom, there's going to be a bajillion people there.
All right, guys. So I guess that's it. We'll see everybody in a couple weeks.
We'll have a normal episode next time.
Yes, definitely.
Hopefully.
We haven't had it.
Hopefully I'll be better by then.
Well, Kara's not been feeling well, so we decided to take it easy.
I've been sick since we got home from our stupid trip.
We were sick before we left for our trip, but anyway.
Yeah, but I was getting over it, and then I got some
re-sick again. Yes,
random disease.
Yep.
Who knows?
It's the curse of Zac Bagins Museum.
I know. I think I got cursed by it for real. Well, if you enjoyed our podcast today, follow us on Instagram at 2ScaredyCatsPodcast, and please be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps the show get discovered. And tune in 2 weeks for a new episode. And to all our scaredy cats and kittens out there, remember, curiosity didn't kill these 2 scaredy cats.